Alright guys, what's up? It's Darth Chatter here. Today I'm going to be doing a how to build mages. Now the thing to know about this is you have basically two types of mages. You have your burst type and then you have your over the time mage basically with damage. So to kind of give you an idea which god is like a burst and like a over time kind of damage god, you want to look at their abilities. So burst damage gods would be, like Baron, Agni, Alpwash, Alquang, which he's more of a jungler. You really don't want to use him as like a mage. He's just a terrible in the mid lane. As a mid laner is okay as a jungler. Kronos is a burst god. Discordia. Freya somewhat, she's kind of a mixture of both. Hades a mixture of both. Hades definitely a burst god with 3 ults. Definitely a burst. Hell. Nox. Nuwa. Ra. Scylla. So, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because you usually kind of want to build your burst and overtime gods a little bit differently. So you wouldn't build Anubis the same as you would build Outwash for the most part. Same with like Baron, Chang'e, and etc. etc. And the real key difference is this item called like Spear of the Magus. Is that over time, you're stripping them of their magical defense, basically. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let's see if we can read it. Your damaging ability reduces your target's magical protections by 10 for 5 seconds. Max stack of 5 stacks. So basically, you're reducing their magical protections by 50 with a 15 pin, so your pin's doing even more. So the reason why you wouldn't build this necessarily on burst gods is because you're bursting them down. You don't have the abilities to stack Spear of the Magus. So you would build Spear of Deso and Obshard, or a Divine or something, just depending on the team comp. So you would normally go for Spear of Deso first. But if you're building, like if you're playing Anubis or anything like that, does damage, DOT damage over time, like dot damage basically, you would build Spear of the Magus into Deso or Spear of the Magus into Obshard. So that's the key difference in the builds, pretty much. And stacking too, we'll go over that a little bit in stacking. Go ahead and get in jungle practice. So we can, I may do two different,
active for duty.
Two different gods. Like I might do a burst and a dot god. As you see, I'm doing a dot god now. If we have time, I'll fit in a burst god. The reason I'm doing this too is just to help the lower tier players play, or at least have their builds at a higher tier level. So what that meaning is a lot of the low tier players aren't building correctly. So you could be in silver, bronze, even gold and not really know how to build correctly, but just because you don't watch streamers, you don't watch pros, or you're just not performing at a high tier, rank. I have several hundred hours in this. As you probably saw, I'm level 122. I've always qualified, in the high ranking, like either Plat 5, Plat 2, Plat 1. Or I've qualified in gold and worked up to plat. Currently I'm trying to get into diamond. So basically, you always start out with Mage's Blessing. It just gives you your ability damage and gives you MP5 back. And once it evolves, it gives you 10% cooldown, which is really good. So cooldown boots and pin boots give you the same power now. So it really just depends on preference, really. So you can go either or, so it's kind of just up to you, just depending on team comp and what you're playing against. If you got someone with really low cooldowns and you only really want to be able to counter that too, go, you know, cooldown boots.
Next time I'll get that plasma cannon.
Don't pay attention to this. This is just a recommended build. I didn't do a custom build. So, you gotta get lifesteal on Anubis. It's just a gimme. Bancroft is really good. You really don't really need more than one lifesteal item. Anything more than that, you're kind of missing out on just another potential good item. So you get Bancrofts into Spear of Magus, into, you know, Chronos Pennant or Ratatahiti. You might be asking yourself, why don't I build stacks, etc., etc. Just because of, even though you're a dot god, you still have potential to do that burst damage. And building stacks takes time. So if you're playing against a god that does burst damage and they're doing stacks, they're still gonna outplay you pretty much, just because they have that burst potential, whereas you have that dot damage. Whereas it takes time, especially when you're playing Anubis, a very, very unsafe god. As you can see with his 1, you're standing still. Even with ult, you're standing still. You know, only thing that he has is his 3, you can walk away, wrap, or, you know, wrap 3 and then walk away. But that's all you can do, is walk away. With other gods, they have some kind of dash, like a Scylla, burst god. That's a dash. You can easily just dash in on you or dash away. And if they dash in on you and they hit their wrap and their combo on you, you're dead. You're done for. So you don't always want to build stacks. If you're going to build stacks, build them, you know, maybe 4th item. You want to be relevant for the first 10-15 minutes. You don't want to be just there, just farming, because your team's going to be fighting, the other mage is going to be fighting the other team, your team. So you really just need that damage output. Whereas you build stacks, like I said, it takes time. So Chronos Pennant's really good. You know, it would put you at a 30% cooldown, and with the passive on it, you know, it's just a really, really good item.
Next time I'll get that.
And then you can get Spear of Deso here, give you, you know, bring you down the 40% cooldown, or bring you up to 40%. Or if they're just really, really tanky, get Op Shard. Or if they have a lot of healing, you know, and you don't have a lot of anti-heal on your team, you know, you can get Divine Ruin. Now, certain gods it works better on, if you already see, you know, your team's got really good anti-heal. You have the Sobek that has anti-heal, Bacchus that has anti-heal built in them, or you just have a team count that has a lot of anti-heal. Don't really need a Divine Ruin, because you're already applying that. So you can go Spirit Deso or Op Shard. So really just paying attention to what's going on. If they're really tanky, get Op Shard. If you just need that extra cooldown to like kind of do a lot of poke damage, Spirit Desos are really good. Anubis is really good for poke damage, especially if you position correctly.
More rocket power.
So I usually go Spirit Deso. I really don't ever get Op Shard anymore, because I go more poke, then I go burst. Or dot burst, I should say. And then last item you can sell for, you know, E-Staff, Ratatahiti, Soul Reaver, you know, any one of those items. Or if you need to have a Magi's or something, because they have a lot of CC, and you just need that extra life-saving item, you can go Magi's. So the last item is really up to you. You can get your, if you really need stacks, or you find yourself out of mana, or just you need extra health, you can go ahead and do your stacks, but it's not really recommended. You know, health stacks is good, but then if they have an E-Staff or anything like that, a King's Kins that does damage percentage of your health, you're just going to take a lot of damage. Just because of those 2 items. So it's not really recommended. And with, you know, mana stacks, or yeah, Book of Thoth, it's really not relevant, because at level 20, let's see, you already sit at 1840. So, and then you already got a lot of MP5 just from Chronos Pennant. You already have 37, so it's kind of just pointless. So last item is really just up to you, situational. You can go Gemma ISO, which is really good, I would probably recommend getting.
Next time
So
I'll get
that
that
would basically
plasma
what your build would
cannon.
look like. If you're gonna do stacks, just try to farm really quick. Don't die, because the moment you die, it's the longer it's gonna take you to get stacks, and the farther you fall behind. And don't ever double stack. I've seen a couple of my buddies double stack in Nubis, or just a lot of mages, and it's a terrible, because it just makes you even worthless even longer, and your team just gotta 4v5 for a long time. And just work on positioning. And you always want to get beads and Aegis. Always, no matter what. Don't get meditation, bracer, thorns, horrific, blink. Unless you can get blink if you feeling really confident on hitting your combo. So you can blink in, wrap, 3, and then ult, and then the person should be completely dead. But then that leaves you open for be pulled or CC'd or just take a lot of damage because you don't have the Aegis or you don't have beads. So it's always recommended that you get Aegis and beads. Blink is good if you're really good at positioning and realizing and map awareness where everyone's at. You can blink in on another mid laner, or you can go gank, blink on someone because the enemy jungler's in left lane or right lane, whatever the case may be. But it's always recommended that you get these two. So now, if you're playing a burst god like Scylla, someone like that, that's Chronos, that does a lot of burst damage easily without any dots, and the only thing that you would really change would probably be, this Spear of Magus. You really probably don't want that. You probably want to get Op Shard.
More rocket power.
And then maybe instead of getting Gemma ISO, you get E-Staff. Or Soul Reaver. Soul Reaver is really, really good. So Soul Reaver is probably a better pickup. And you might want to rush that. Probably don't need this item either. So you would get, Soul Reaver. Let me find it.
Next time I'll get that plasma cannon.
Oh, sorry, let me just get rid of all of this. So you start off the same. Mage's Blessing. You can either go pin boots or cooldown boots, really up to you. Preference again, you probably want to get pin boots just because you don't have that dot damage. You don't really need to do poke, you can just burst them down.
More rocket power.
That's your kit, and then you go into Soul Reaver, and you go into Spirit Deso, into maybe a Chronos, into, maybe Ob Shard or a Divine. And then last item, situational. Once again, E-Staff, Ready to Heat is probably really good because you're gonna, basically with your kit, you're gonna get them to half health. And with the passive Ready to Heat now is basic attacks and abilities gain 25% additional magic power against targets below 50% health. So if you go in with the kit and you burst them with your 1-2-3 combo, and they are at like anywhere from like 30 to 50% health, you're gonna do more damage.
Next time
you're gonna hurt really bad. And it's the same thing for your relics. Always want to get Aegis, always want to get beads. Depending on which one you get first, depends on who you're playing against. If you have a jungler or just a team with a lot of CC, get beads and try to stay relatively safe. If you burned your beads or they made you burn them, stay safe, and then get Aegis. If you find yourself out of position, you get ganked or whatever, just Aegis. You don't always gotta try to fight them, so just play really safe and position well. And then other than that, it's really on working on positioning. You're not front line, you're back line. You're going to be doing poke damage. You're going to be bursting them down, and then hopefully, you got some good cleanup. You don't always need to get the kill. You just need to win the team fights, basically. And it's what a lot of mages and hunters need to learn. It's not always about getting the kill. It's about winning the team fights, and that's why it's called team fights and a team game. That's why you have teams. You work together on getting objectives and winning team fights and winning the game potentially. Now you may wonder, okay, well, we have a lot of kills and we're up 5k gold, 4k gold, but they're winning. We got, we got less towers up than they do. They took our Phoenix. Why are we losing? Well, pay attention to the team fights. What's going on during the team fights? Is someone split pushing on the enemy team while you guys are team fighting because you guys want the kills? That's fine. That's okay with them because they know they can split push because your whole team is there fighting and they're taking you long enough for someone to take a tower, to take a Phoenix, to get Gold Fury, to get Pyro or whatever. So it's always not always about the team fights. It's about objectives. You gotta be able to balance that. So if you see someone, on left lane, if you see two people in left lane, where the Gold Fury's at, you guys, and you got 4 people in right on your team, you guys can do Pyro, or you guys can push that tower, or whatever it case may be. So it's just a map awareness. And I really hope this helps you guys and with playing, because you'll have so much more fun because you're doing more damage and you're realizing what the role really is about. It's not about getting the kill. It's about putting the other mage or the other damage ability guys on the team out of the fight. Even if you don't kill them, if you put them out of the fight and they have to retreat, that fight just went more in your favor than it did before. Now you can kill their front line, and now their front line's dead. So now you can take objectives because they have no front line. The damage carries or whatever on the other team can't really fight you no more because you guys have your front line, you guys have your damage players up. Same thing with assassins. I'll do another video with assassins, but those gods too are good for poke damage, ganking the mage or ganking the ADC, finding them out of position and just putting them out of the fight either by 100 to 0. Taking them completely out of the fight for the next 30 seconds or whatever, or just putting them out of the fight for them to go back to fountain, heal, and come back in. So once you realize how the roles are supposed to be kind of played, you have a lot more fun, team fights go a lot better. So I really hope this helps you guys. So you just pay attention to what kind of mage you're playing, and what items you're putting on, and what you're playing against, and what you should and should not be doing. And you guys will have more fun, basically. And that's what this game is really about, is having fun. Even if you don't play ranked or want to play at a high level, you just want to have fun and live more and do more damage, this is what you need to be doing. And you can think, oh, well, I've been doing this for years, blah, 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 I don't need someone telling me how to play it. Fine, it's whatever. But stay out of my games. Don't ruin my gameplay and my fun because you don't want to listen to someone else that's potentially better at the game than you are. And if you're not like that, fine, take the advice and try and make it play, ask questions. Not everyone in this community is toxic. They always want to help people. They want to see players become better because it makes the game more fun. It brings more players in. Because if you're having fun, you tell other people about this, they play, and the game just gets bigger. So I really hope this helps you guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever the case may be. Peace.